Okay, I believe we're back. So I'm just getting the random number generator up and running. Okay, so the first number is 7, and we've had that before. That was a car. If you haven't seen that one was pretty interesting. We'll go again. 18, we have had that one. That was a sprinkler. 12, we have had that one. 12 again, what are the odds? 6 is a chainsaw, and we have not had a chainsaw yet. Let me clear the paper here. I don't want to save this. Okay, we'll continue going. A 3, which is eat. I don't think we've had that yet. And a 10, which is super. We have had super before. 16, which is haunted. We've had haunted before. 4, which is squishy. All right, a eating a squishy chainsaw. That sounds pretty interesting. Um, okay. Someone has posted in the chat. 8.9 earthquake just struck the southern Oregon coast, tsunami warning issued. I am not on the Pacific coast, but if you are, I guess watch out for that. I don't know why that's being posted in my chat, but okay, so we are working with a squishy chainsaw that is being eaten, I would assume. Perhaps a gummy chainsaw. So we can just start drawing this in general. Okay, so we have our chainsaw. Chainsaws usually have a sort of body like this. Um, and so this will have a triangular handle of sorts and perhaps a ripcord over here that is used to start up the chainsaw. But then from then on, it is all teeth. So there's going to be this long blade, but the blade is not actually the important part. The important part is the chain, hence the name chainsaw. So what we will start to question is what about this chainsaw is squishy. Now I'm getting a bunch of okay. So, um, there are many things that are squishy. There's gelatin. I was thinking that perhaps the teeth themselves could be marshmallows. That would be rather appetizing. I know that in terms of longevity, this would not last very long, but if we are eating it, then longevity is not a problem because obviously it will only have to last as long as it takes for us to actually get to it and start eating it. Usually, if you make like a gingerbread house or something, and it starts falling apart while you're eating it, it's not really a big deal. It's more about lasting until you get there. So I think marshmallows, in terms of shelf life, they should last pretty long. So we have marshmallows here. If the blade must also be squishy, but we have to consider something that would be um, perhaps firm enough to extend like this out from the actual motor area. Perhaps in terms of the actual connection, we can have a Twizzler rope going around the actual blade part, sitting in a groove. Um, but in terms of actual squishiness, I think it would be easy to say that the actual base is going to be jello. And then we have our marshmallows. And then the actual cord will be, we said, was that Twizzlers? I spelt twit. Twizzlers. That's probably spelt wrong. I think there's two Z's. I don't know. Okay, but the actual blade itself. Now, I can imagine that it would have to be perhaps firm in the lateral direction, but it could receive a moment in this direction, causing it to bend and flop back and forth. That would give it some squish, um, but it doesn't necessarily have to be food. This could be a squishy chain uh, propulsion system that allows a person, if they were to sit here with their mouth open in a Pac-Man like form and wait for the food to be projected into their mouth when they are actually Voldemort, um, then this system would be rotating the squishy material around. This would also make it confusing why the base was made of jello, but if nobody actually has to hold it, then that's fine. But we can imagine that the blade itself is squishy in some way. So how would we make this squishy? Well, maybe we can make it a plush blade. There could be a metal base, but then we can pillow top it. So we can have a sort of quilt top squishy pillow section, and so pillows usually have a button in the middle, and so that's what we're going for. And so this will be somewhat similar to maybe a blanket that a lumberjack would use if we're going thematically. But I think that is relatively straightforward. So then this here could also be a Twizzler, and then all we need is a squishy handle, and I think we can just go with some sort of foam just to keep it simple for the handle, because it would be relatively stable, but at the same time, it would still be squishy. So this is what we've created. Now there would be some sort of motor in here, um, and this would be the system that would provide energy and force for the Twizzler to go around in the circuit to the uh, to the consumer's mouth. But at the same time, this motor would heat up. So once again, this would not bode well for the longevity of the Jello. So I'd give this a possible feeding time of perhaps I don't know, 2 minutes. And so I think that if the motor is moving fast enough, it is possible that someone could eat all of the marshmallows in the 2 minutes. Now, if there were to be a small incision made in the Twizzlers, then this could become a problem, because then the whole system would be just whipping around until there was no connection to the motor, and it would begin it would render the whole system useless. The motor would simply just be melting the jello here. So, but we can assume that people actually have precision. They eat the marshmallows, and then towards the end of the process, eat the Twizzler rope. So I think that we have a pretty finished product here. I don't think it necessarily needs color. I think we've described it fairly well. Um, but I am pushing on about 55 minutes, I believe. So, or actually, I'm over 55 minutes. So I will be closing off the stream. But like I said, if there's any final questions, perhaps on instruments, on just anything I've been doing in general, please post those in the chat. I will answer them uh, as I see them before I close off the stream. But I want to thank you guys for watching, if you've been watching so far. And I do plan to stream on Wednesday. Now, whether or not it will be a cover or if it will be actually a update on projects that I've been doing, just kind of goes down to whether or not I actually accomplish anything in the next few days. But learning a new song is an accomplishment in my eyes. So if I do end up having a cover, it will most likely be a song that I have never performed before. other than the few days up until the actual stream. That has been the pattern with me and Bobby McGee. I had not physically learned the song until it was suggested that I perform it on the stream, and it was the same with Supermassive Black Hole. Me and my friend worked that out actually the day before. So I'm not seeing any questions in the chat. I can assume that my proposal was heard. So I'm just assuming that nobody has questions. So it is pushing on an hour, and I think that I will be cutting it off. So I want to thank you guys for watching, and I will be seeing you on Wednesday.